Hello, welcome back. So next thing I'd like to do is add a cool effect, another one that'll have an editable intensity. So for this one, this will be a hue effect, one where we're going to visit each and every pixel and we're going to transform them all to the same hue. They can have a different saturation and intensity, but we're actually going to set everything to the same hue. So to do that, we need to be able to convert our color, our RGB color, from the RGB coordinate space to hue, brightness, saturation, or hue, lightness, saturation, whichever you want to call it. Fortunately, Apple's got a built-in class that really helps us with that. So let's get started, and you'll see how this is done. So we'll go to Filters, and we'll use our Scale Intensity filter as kind of a model. So I'll just take a copy of that. And this will be called Hue Filter. Hello Hue. There we go. And we'll, yeah, sure, 75. It's kind of arbitrary. The values 0 through 1 are going to represent all the different available colors, and one of them is 0.75. Let's see how that works out. So we will change this to a P, because I like that. Okay, and let's start the work. So we need some way to take our pixel and convert it to a UI color, and that's going to be a nice thing to put into the RGBA pixel class itself. So I'm going over to RGBA pixel, and I'll have a function called toUIColor. A UI color is the Swift class, well, the Apple class for representing a color. And it's very convenient for us because it lets us convert between the two coordinate spaces. It takes care of all the tricky math for us. Don't need that. So all we need to do is return a new UI color, right? And we have various different constructors, including an RGB one. So it wants CG floats. So we just need to convert our self.red. Okay, so that'll be a number between 0 and 255, and we want to change it between 0 and 1. So CG float 255. Okay, so that's kind of the standard design right there. We can do this kind of thing over and over again. So we'll do it once for green, and we'll do it again for blue, and we'll also do it again for alpha. Okay, let's get the spacing right, and then let's change the color components. So this was green, this was blue, and this was alpha. Okay, so to repeat, this method returns the UI color. Pretty simple stuff. Let's go back to our filters. So now we can go let UI color equals p dot to UI color. Oh, I got something wrong. Let me just pop back to where we were. No, that looks right. This should be a function on RGBA pixel. P should be an RGBA pixel, so okay, I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to return nil for the moment. Okay, see if there's any compile errors. Ah, that's what I thought. Oh, well, not quite what I thought. Let's try it one more time. P dot I don't see my toUI color. You know what? I just realized what I did. I don't think I made it public. So let's go back to our RGBA pixel. Looks pretty public. not sure what's going on. Let's try that again. So I'll just paste that right there. Don't like mysteries. So we have that. I see. Ah! Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know why I didn't get that earlier. I'll probably look at this video and say, why didn't I see it? It was right in front of my face. Okay, so we've got our UI color now. What do we need to do with our UI color? Well, we need to get the HLS out of it. UI color. Oh, yes. Actually, we'll start typing this in. And here's the get hue method. What does it take? It's going to take a hue, saturation, brightness, and alpha unsafe mutable pointer. So what does that mean? It means that we create our own little buffer up here. So I'll go variable, and I'll just call it H. That's for hue, and that's going to be a CG core graphics float. Okay, and I'm going to assign that buffer a value of 0.0 for starters. Oh, and why is it complaining? It's complaining because I think I need to import UI kit. Yeah, that was the main error, and we're not using it yet, so it's transformed to a warning. H. Actually, I'm just going to copy this line a few times. So we need one for saturation, which is the S component, one for the brightness, and one for the alpha. Okay, so now this argument is just ampersand H. So the hue goes in there. The saturation will be returned in this buffer. So ampersand S. The brightness goes here. Ampersand B. And the alpha goes here. Ampersand A. Right, okay, so that extracted hue, saturation, brightness out of there. And what we're going to do is then we're going to create a new UI pixel. So I'll say let new color equals, actually new UI color equals to a UI color, right? That has, and we're going to use this constructor right here, that has a hue of, okay, I'm going to type in H, but we're going to change that in a second, S, B, A. Okay, so this would create an exact copy of this pixel, but the one thing we want to change is we don't want H, we want to use whatever the value is that got passed in. So we're going to say value. Okay, and then finally, now that we've got this UI color, we want to be able to convert it back to a one of our colors. So you know what, we'll probably write a method for it later, but for now let's just do this. Let's go let's see, I think it's got color components. So red, new UI color. Oh, what's it complaining about? Oh, I need to cast this. So this is probably a double and it wants a CG float. So let's do that. CG float. Right. There we go. Love autocomplete. Don't know how I programmed without it. So we can get red, green, blue. Okay, great. So it looks like the preferred thing to do is actually to get all four color components at once, and that works for me. Oops, didn't mean to scroll that away. Let's do that again. Now this is a pretty, yeah, let's just code it in here first. So we'll just do the same trick we did up here. I'll copy these, and we'll call that R, G, B, A. Now A was already used, so I'll say alpha. And we want to pass it the R, pass it the green, the blue, and the alpha. Right? Okay, and once we got all that, we can finally convert that back to one of our pixels. So we can go, we can return an RGBA pixel, and our initializer, this one right here, we need a uint8 representation. So that is R times 255, okay, cast it to a uint8. And I got the casting the wrong way, so let me just do this. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. And I'm going to do the same trick here and the same trick here. So there's green, and finally blue. Okay, let's pay attention to our errors now. Oh, I think I need some self. Yeah, need some selfage. That one's not too hard. So I'm going to call this, instead of B for brightness, I'm going to call it L for lightness, which actually is quite often it's called HLS. And there we go. Okay, I think I like that. Let's run, see if there are any real errors. So we're expecting now, oh, we didn't add this filter into the list of all filters, so we're not going to see the new filter until I do that. Let's go over to filters, scroll up to the top, and we're going to add, what do we call it, Hue Filter. And I must have spelt that wrong. A hue filter is one of these, blah blah blah. Okay, that looks good. Oh, right, just need to do that. Okay, let's try that now. This is a pretty neat filter, actually. We can give someone a new hair color, give them a new color period. Okay, so let's go to Hue. Ooh. Not bad. Okay, and we're also going to take this opportunity to fix a little bug. If I click Select Filters, let's make it more obvious. Our preview doesn't update. So, actually, you know what? We'll maybe fix that in the next video. This was pretty good. So that's our Hue filter, and join me for the next one. There we go. Take care.